This book by Dorothy Edwards is from my childhood when I was at primary school. It's quite old and quite battered. It's a little paperback and I bought it myself from the book fair that used to come to school. They used to wheel in these big trolleys, open them up and they'd be full of books, and I would save all my money for that. And I really liked the books by Dorothy Edwards because I thought they were really funny, and the stories are all about a little girl and they're called My Naughty Little Sister. But this book is called When My Naughty Little Sister Was Good. And they're all brilliant stories. You get quite a few stories in these little books. But there's one which just made me laugh so much. And it's called Harry's Shouting Coat. And Harry is actually the little girl's best friend. So we need to go to page 81. I must have read it a few times because it just opened up all by itself. Harry's Shouting Coat. Long ago, when my sister was a funny little girl with a friend called Harry, Harry had an auntie who lived over the sea in Canada, and this auntie used to send Harry presents. Sometimes she sent him toys, sometimes she sent him sweeties, but once she sent him a very bright coat. It was the loveliest coat Harry had ever seen. It was the loveliest coat my little sister had ever seen. It was bright, bright red, and it had a bright, bright yellow collar and a bright, bright yellow pockets and shiny gold buttons, and there was twisty white cord around the buttons. My sister was playing at Harry's house when the coat parcel came, and they were both very excited. Harry tried the coat on at once and walked up and down to show it my sister. And then my sister tried it on and walked up and down to show it to Harry. But do you know, Harry's mother didn't like that coat at all. She said, I really don't think you can wear it to go out in. It's far too loud. When she showed the coat to Harry's father, he said, yes, it's loud all right. It shouts. Harry's father and mother laughed then, but Harry didn't laugh, and my sister didn't laugh. Harry was really cross. He said, it's a very nice coat. Auntie sent it for me. I want to wear it. His father said, well, you can wear it in the garden and frighten the birds with it, and then they won't eat all the seeds. But Harry didn't want to wear that beautiful coat in the garden. He wanted to wear it where all the other children could see it. My sister wanted him to wear it where all the other children could see it too. She wanted to be with him when everyone was looking at his smart red coat. She said, I think it's a beautiful coat, Harry. Harry said, I want to wear it outside. Harry was very cross when he said, I want to wear it, but he didn't shout. He had a little cross voice. Harry had a shouting voice too. He used to shout at my naughty little sister sometimes, but he had a little cross voice too. Harry's mother didn't like to be unkind about the red coat because after all it was Harry's present, so she had a good idea. She said, all right, you can wear it one day if you're a very good boy. She said this because she thought Harry wouldn't be good, but he was. He was very good. Those two naughty children went out into the garden and whispered, and they made up their minds that Harry would be good. And he was. My sister helped him to be good. She didn't quarrel with him or grumble at him. She was good and polite to him, and Harry was good and polite to her. Do you know how they managed it? They played a game of being good and polite people. It was fun. They're not usually good and polite. When Harry was at home, he was still good. He helped his father and tidied up his toys, and he kept saying to his mother, have I been good enough yet? Until at last she said Harry could wear his coat tomorrow. She said she would take Harry and my sister for a picnic on the island, and Harry could wear his red coat. Harry and my sister were very pleased about this because they liked going to the island very much. The island was in the middle of the river. It wasn't really an island, but it kind of was because it was land in the middle of the river. There was an old man in a sailor hat and a blue coat, and he would take you across in his little boat, come back and fetch you later on. He was the ferryman. It was lovely to sit in the boat with water all around you, but you had to sit very still on the seats or the old man shouted at you. So you couldn't play anything, but it was still very nice. Sometimes there were lots of people going to the island, but on this picnic day, when Harry wore his loud red coat, there was only Harry's mother and Harry and my little sister. The old ferryman wasn't there either. There was just a boy to row the boat. The boy said the old man was his granddad. He said his granddad had gone to get some new teeth, but he would be back later on. Harry and my sister were disappointed there were no other people going to the island. They wanted to show off the coat. Lots of people had stared when they went through in the town, and they had been very proud. A postman said, my, and a boy had whistled. And some people had come out of a shop to have a look at the coat. It had been very exciting. Harry's mother said she wasn't sorry no one else was going to the island. Are you imagining what this coat looks like? Although there were, because I am. I'm just imagining everybody looking at this coat. Although there were no other people, Harry and my sister had a lovely time. They ran all around the island first. Then they played House on Fire. My sister sat under a bush and that was the house. And Harry was the fire engine and the fireman too, in his red coat. Then they ate their picnic and Harry's mother said she would have a little nap before the ferryman came to fetch them. Harry said he would have a nap too, because he had got hot and tired running about in his coat all the time. And my sister said she would have a nap as well, as there wouldn't be anyone to play with. So she lay down too, and everyone fell asleep. Harry's mother woke up first of all, and when she woke up, she was very worried. She woke Harry and my sister up, and they were very cross and sleepy at first. She said, "Oh, do wake up properly, children. It's late. The boat hasn't come." They all ran to look across the river, and then Harry and my sister forgot to be sleepy because Harry's mother was so worried. She was looking all around. They saw the boat tied up across the river, but there was no boy, no ferryman. Harry's mother said, "Oh dear, they've forgotten us." When she said this, my sister started to cry because it sounded so nasty to be forgotten. And then Harry cried too, and his mother had to make a fuss of them until they stopped. "Never mind," she said, "we'll wait, and when we see someone, we'll call out, and they will know we are here." They waited and waited, and just as they were beginning to think they might have to sleep on the island all night, they saw the old man in his sailor hat coming down the path by the boat. They shouted and shouted, but the old man took no notice. They shouted again, but he didn't hear them. He looked across. He stood still. Then he waved and waved at them. He untied the boat, got in and began to row and row and row straight to the island. Oh, they were glad to see him. When he rowed them back, he told Harry's mother that his grandson had forgotten to tell him about them. He said, "I was just coming to put the boat away." Harry's mother said, "It's a good thing we shouted then." But the old man said, "I didn't hear any shouting, ma'am. I didn't hear anything. If I hadn't looked across and seen this young chap's coat, I shouldn't have known anyone was here." When the old man said this, Harry looked at my sister and she looked at him. "Father said," the coat shouted, Harry said. "It's a good thing it was loud," said my sister. "I don't think I would like to sleep on the island very much." When they got home again, Harry's mother said, "Well, at least you won't get lost in that coat. It's too conspicuous. I think you'd better wear it when we go to the park or one of the other places you sometimes get lost in." And that is just what Harry did. Sometimes when they played in the park, he let my sister borrow it for a treat so that she could run about in the bushes without getting lost. What do you think it means if somebody said, "Ooh, that coat's very loud"? What do you think Harry's parents meant. And then Dad made a joke, didn't he, saying, yeah, it's so loud, it shouts. What does it mean? What would you have to wear if you were wearing something loud? Have a little think about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the My Naughty Little Sister story. They're very funny. Some people might think they're a little bit old-fashioned now, but that's why I like them.